Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. You are now part of a small underground movement of dent technicians from all over the world. We are on a mission to change our industry with innovation, intelligence, and skill. But because we don't rely on an insurance company to steer customers our way, we need to do things different. We need to do things smarter. We do that through a network of technicians that we call the Tactical Tech Movement. Now let's get this revolution started.
Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with Angela Hiley in the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. I'm just messing around with the sound right now, making sure we got that perfect.
What's up, my bitches?
We got that perfect volume level for you.
What's shaking, bacon? What's crack-a-lackin'?
What's crack-a-lackin'? A lot of things crack-a-lackin' with us this week. Trying to do all kinds of shit, man. We're going to be moving out our shop. Same time, got our Mega Media event coming up here in mid-October.
Yeah.
What are we, like 2 weeks away from that?
I think so.
Yeah, so we're about 2 weeks away from the Mega Media event.
Up.
Thinking about doing a t-shirt drop this weekend if I can find the time. If y'all don't follow me on Instagram, or if you do, you've seen that I got in 2 big-ass boxes of tactical t-shirts today.
And if you follow me on Instagram and watched my stories, you will notice that I put up one of my favorite Snapchats that I've took of John. It's probably a couple years old. It's one of him dreaming of sailboats.
I need to put up the one I had you as a monkey in a football helmet.
I don't care. I think I was... You know what? I think, you got it, and I was sleeping, and I was actually, lightly snoring. And I didn't know that I snored. So when John showed it to me, he thought I was going to be mad or upset. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm actually snoring. I was pretty surprised. It didn't really bother me that bad.
So rolling up into this podcast, we're going to be talking about a few things tonight. And some of the core things we're going to talk about is a little bit about investing in yourself, why that's important. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, we just pulled the trigger on a huge investment other than the shop. Again, a third thing, we just pulled the trigger on a huge investment. But above and beyond that, so I know how it feels. I know the fear behind it. I know the thought process because, honestly, I don't want to say it because there's no really win here. I mean, either you won't believe me or you'll think that I'm bragging or something like that. So because of that, I'm just going to leave it at that. It was a big investment.
It was a really big investment. And the thing is I would say if John would have came to me with this whole thing of wanting to do it last year, I would have been like, no, super duper scared. Paranoid, anxiety through the roof, but it's after listening to Jen.
Thank you, Jen Sincero.
Yeah, after listening to her, I was nervous and scared, but then it was kind of exciting as well.
Right. It's kind of like leaping and knowing the net is going to be there, or having faith that the net is going to appear.
Yeah.
Which that, my friends, is called stepping out of your comfort zone. It can be a little bit uncomfortable.
It can be very uncomfortable.
But above and beyond that, it can also be fucking exhilarating because the next day you wake up as the person that did that shit.
Yep.
And that's what I've noticed more than anything is that waking up, I'll give you an example. I've been anticipating waking up in the morning so I can get to my work, I can get to my passion, I can get to my day because of this, and not to mention it also put me in what I feel is I put myself in a different arena. You know what I mean? I was playing in the minor leagues and now I'm pushing myself into playing in the major leagues. And I truly believe where I'm going is somewhere I haven't been. And it's almost like going from that, you know what I mean? You're in the minor leagues, but now you're in the major leagues. Get your fucking shit together.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to talk a little bit about investing in yourself, and then I'm also going to be talking about the law of increase. And this will kind of explain to you guys why I've dealt with this before. I truly believe that I see a lot of people that have dealt with this, or I've talked to a lot of people that have dealt with this. Can you get his bone out of there?
Yeah.
Actually, just take it away. Taking away a puppy's bone for this show. Y'all heard that.
He's just,
My dog throws his bone out of his area, and okay.
He's just scratching
All
on
right,
the...
all right, I got you. So we're going to be talking about the law of increase, because I truly believe that a lot of entrepreneurs have dealt and felt what I have felt before, what I still feel, and that's truly when you're not 100% on path, or when you're not, you don't have that big time, that big feeling of increase happening all the time. You feel kind of like guilty, like you're not doing everything that you could have done that day to maximize that day and to make things happen at the highest level that you can possibly make them happen, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but I want to start off by going right back into the investing in yourself, because Warren Buffett, one of the quotes from Warren Buffett is, an investment in yourself is basically the best investment because nobody can take that away from you. Mm-hmm. Now, do you truly understand what that means?
I was like listening, but not listening. I'm being honest.
That's what happens when I ask people what their name is. Like all of a sudden my mind goes blank and I'm totally not listening, and their voice disappears, and I just watch their mouth move.
No, like I was listening,
and then
but
10
then
minutes later I can't remember their fucking name.
I spaced out just a second ago.
Yeah.
Just a smidge for just,
So what I'm going to talk to you guys about, the reason why. Great co-host here, huh, tonight.
My bad. That's all
so the reason why Warren Buffett said that is because the investments that you put in yourself, whether that's an educational investment, whether that's a monetary investment, whether that's an investment in your business because your business is an extension of you. Yeah. See, that's what people fail to realize. Everything you create is an extension of you. You created it. You created this life. It's energy that surrounds you. So when you invest in your business, you're investing in you. When you invest in yourself, you're investing in you. Mm-hmm. When you invest in employees, you're investing in you. But all of that stuff takes an expansive mindset, and it all brings out a different person inside of yourself. Like there's a new person that you've got to become. You've got to become a better person to accept that investment in yourself. Mm-hmm. If you want to invest in your business and you want to grow and expand, you got to become the type of person that can handle that growth and that expansion. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily the investment of the growth and the expansion, but now you're the kind of person that can handle that growth and expansion. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, sir.
So you're building character. You're building something inside of yourself that's bigger and better than it was yesterday. Okay?
It's good to have good character.
I think she drank too much coffee, guys.
No, I didn't.
She's got a coffee in front of her, and she's not much of a caffeine person. Did you drink one of them?
No,
one
I
of my
didn't
coffees?
Drink a death something.
I think it's called Death Wish or something like that. Death Cups.
That's a good coffee to drink, and I recommend that. I recommend drinking an ounce cup of that coffee in the morning when you get up. That will jumpstart your day in the right direction. No, I'm just drinking. It's just some type of Starbucks pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
I don't think it has that much caffeine in it.
Right.
Stop staring at me like that.
Well, they can't see that.
They can only see the way you were looking at me. Sorry, I was getting lost into your eyes when you were talking.
There we go. I like that.
Yeah, of course you do.
All right, so moving forward, right? And then the reason why we begin to feel that entrepreneurial guilt, right? It's essentially our spirit crying out, right? So like what I just told you here is that everything is expansion of us, right? Our business is an expansion of us. It's part of us. It's from our energy. It's from our creation. Everything around us is something that we create. When we are not going in the right direction, you'll begin to feel that pain.
Yeah, I will agree with that. That's true.
And there's two things that you can do. You can either dig deep within, become really, really good at discovering the direction or the little voice inside of your head that's telling you to do what the fuck you need to do. Usually it's just staring you right in front of your face, you know? And I'll tell you something, you'll never be content if you're doing things that just keep you going in circles. So busy work, like going out and doing busy work, saying, man, when you feel that pain inside and you go out and say, well, man, I'm just going to go do some busy work. I'm going to, do this, you're just getting your mind off of that pain.
Yeah.
The real work is when you work on your shit. The hardest work, and this is the reason why the least amount of people do this work. This is the reason why people prefer to go fucking put a time card in a clock and clock in and clock out rather than have the freedom of owning their own business, is because the hardest work comes from your thought. The hardest work comes from controlling your mind, looking within, okay? Because there's a lot of people that don't want to look inside themselves. There's so much inside of there that they've turned away from throughout the years. There's so much pain inside of there that they would rather do busy work because it takes their mind off of that pain.
It's basically you're trying to find some type of distraction.
It just goes into the whole principle of long suffering versus suffering now, choosing to suffer.
Yeah.
A great example of that would be working out. Either you're going to choose to suffer now to feel healthy, to be able to walk upstairs without breathing hard, to lose that weight. You're going to choose to suffer in the gym for 1 hour a day, or you're going to suffer day in and day out with long suffering, with prolonged suffering that is much more subtle than the 1 hour suffering that you're going to suffer in the gym. It's much more subtle, okay? Because it just lingers on. It stays in your dreams. You wake up, you feel it all the time, okay? So what we're normally seeing right here is a part between the spirit and the flesh. You're either going to satisfy one or the other.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to satisfy the spirit first. It's much easier to satisfy the flesh first.
Yeah, why don't you tell that story about that one guy that story you were telling me.
About which one guy?
You know which one guy I'm talking about. We were just talking about him just a second ago.
Something that...
he's that would be a good example.
Right. All right, so I'm going to pull up a little quote first. And this is going to help me break it down. And you guys know I normally don't do biblical quotes or anything like that on here.
Because we were driving to Chipotle and asked John, and I was like, hey, I wonder what's going on with so-and-so. And as soon as I said that, John said this quote, and I was like, this just came out of the blue.
But it's an amazing, if you guys, I don't care whether you disagree with the Bible, whether you are in the church, whatever it is, I don't care. I really don't go to church, but to say that there is not a lot of fucking shit to learn in the Bible would be stupid, to say the least. Maybe there are some horrible interpretations of some of it, I believe. However, I'm just going to stick with this quote right here. This is one of my favorite quotes, and I choose to see the good in everything. I'm going to encourage you to please do so, because there's a lot of good shit in that book. And if you're just closing your ears going nah when somebody says something, if somebody says something and causes you to just close your ears like nah, and they're trying to teach you something positive, then you've got some sort of pain you haven't dealt with inside. Just keep that in mind.
That's true.
So this right here comes from Proverbs 28:1. It said, "The wicked flee, though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion." So it says, "The wicked flee, though no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion." So, I want to go back to what I believe. I believe that in the future, I hope, I know that our world is becoming something where people begin to open up another side of themselves, where they can actually see the truth inside of themselves, just like this quote is trying to tell us right here, okay? Mm-hmm. That when you go out into the world with wicked intent, and she's talking about a guy that I know, and I'm not judging him at all. I mean, I was the same when I was like 18, 19-year-old kid. He's got women problem, and he's, got a divorce, and he has a problem with this girl and that girl. He's always, turning off his Instagram and opening up a new one because he's got this girl chasing him, but yet he's scamming a few of them out of money. And, I mean, but all ultimately, do I think he's a bad-hearted dude? Not at all. I don't think he's got a bad heart at all.
No,
I just don't think.
Shit together.
I just think that he's, and I said this earlier, but and they talk about this a lot. In the Ralph Waldo Emerson actually talks about this. Is he's underdeveloped, meaning that he's still working as an adolescent, kind of. That his mind, like he's an adult, but his mind is still stuck as kind of like an adolescent. Yeah. And there's no way that he would continue to do this shit if he actually knew the pain that he was receiving from it, right?
Yeah.
Because, like I told you guys, he's shutting down his Instagram account, opening this up, disappearing here, going there. I mean, he is literally running when nobody is in pursuit. Like, there could be nobody after this guy, but he's going to wake up running from everybody. And that's the way it is for people that go out, that cheat and scam their way through life and through their business. It's a fucking dreadful way to live. They are getting their punishment now. See, a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think punishment is set off for some other day. The punishment is fucking happening now to them.
Yeah. They
are living inside of a smoldering pit of emotion that could be something as of hell. That fire inside is fucking painful.
Yeah.
Okay? But why are the righteous as bold as a lion? And I think people get confused when they say righteous, because you want to think of a righteous person as, I don't know, somebody that's fake that claims to be righteous. I'm not talking about that guy. I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about the one that is in constant pursuit of connecting with their inner emotions, their inner fucking badass, them connecting with themselves and living a life based with that inner dialogue, that inner conversation of what's fucking right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And connecting to that at the highest level absolutely possible every day. Now, will you slip and fall? But guess what? That's a learning lesson for the man that's on that mission. That's the learning lesson for the man that's on that journey, right?
Yeah.
It's not for show. It's not for other people to see. It's for him to feel and internalize.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that I never understood the whole biblical thing about why they would talk about it's better to donate and where nobody sees you, right? Like don't make it like a public spectacle, where, okay, I gave this away, I gave this money to somebody or something like that, and you show everybody, you Snapchat it, and, whatever, you put it on Facebook. Or I gave a homeless guy $20, let's put it on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
And so that way, but here's the thing. Yeah, that's, what? You did a good thing regardless, but you were rewarded immediately for it. When you do many good things that nobody sees, the reward sits inside your character and shines through your being. It shines brighter when nobody knows but you. People don't realize that. It shines through the energy. It shines through your words. It shines through your being. It shines through who you are. Okay? It doesn't shine through the spectacle that you made of yourself and got that immediate reward. You know?
He's so good.
Well, that's...
Now you get me all teary-eyed.
every podcast.
No, it's not every podcast. I was just like...
But you know what, though?
You were saying.
Here's the thing about that, guys. That takes faith. That takes faith. That takes faith of a higher level. You know, that takes belief, man. That takes strength. That takes power. You know, I love it. You know, I absolutely love it. And I'm not going to say that I'm not going to openly do charity events and stuff like that. You know, and things like that in the future, because I truly believe that if you're after a cause, you got to get out there and shout it out.
Yeah.
But man, there's some things that I think people can do that behind the scenes that nobody sees that will fucking radiate through them, you know, like no other. So, But that's the core principle behind that. You know, you're going to find that, you know, all of this shit, man, has this really, really deep core principle. And the truth of the matter is, if we're not in a state of growth, every man, woman, and child knows that if we're not in a state of growth, we're moving towards death. Mm-hmm. That's something that we subconsciously know. So anytime, and not to mention, anytime that you feel increase or you feel that pain inside where you're not increasing enough, when you tap into that increase, there's an energy that comes over you that you actually silently spread to the rest of the world that you communicate with. And now the rest of the world wants to do business with you because they're coming in proximity of a fucking man that carries the spirit of increase. The desire of everybody. You seek to add to the world, not take away from it.
That's some deep shit right there, John.
She's high on coffee.
I am not high on coffee.
High on coffee. So anyhow, I think that's about all I got to say about the subject.
That was pretty good.
I think we're good to go.
That was really good. That was really good. Some of the stuff that you were saying, it was like, I kind of went, I was like thinking, I was like, oh my God, like there's a Bob Marley song right there. Oh my God, like there's another one. Just a couple of things.
That's because he was a. It's very, very likely. I don't know the man, but based on his writings of a song, he was a man that was in that.
Yeah.
You know, you heard him say many, many times that my life is my life. He was always inside of inner reflection. Mm-hmm. You know, the best work's always going to be done inside of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and when you get to the point to where you've worked on yourself enough, where when you settle inside of yourself, you just feel pleasure. Mm-hmm. Not all the time. Nobody's ever going to be fucking Tom Cruise jumping on a couch like Oprah Winfrey. I mean, but when you can feel the pleasure and feel the pain and respect them both,
yeah,
then you know you're well on your way.
Yeah.
You're well on your way.
Yeah.
You know, because without pain we wouldn't have pleasure, and just the understanding of that alone is what should make you appreciate the pain.
That's why it's like your highs and your lows. Like when you're going through a low, like you need to focus on your highs. But then like you also, when you get out of that low, more than likely it turns into a high, and there's always like this, you know, wonderful learning lesson that you get out of it, and it makes you a better person.
You know, something that I always admired about Tony Robbins, he always talked about, was called state control.
Yeah.
And essentially that was controlling your state of mind at any moment. And he would always do things like he would think about things at a specific moment to completely change his state. So if he was sad, he would like scream out the window and say, "I've got stinky feet." You
did that day that we went to the gym because I was like really grumpy. But when you screamed it, you said it came out like really mean, like scary. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. You said something else. And then no, your Mickey Mouse voice.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta tell everybody you can do Mickey Mouse. You can sound like Mickey Mouse.
Well, she told me that it sounded really mean when I did it, so I did it in a real high-pitched voice, and it happens to sound like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and I just died laughing. You gotta do your Mickey Mouse voice.
Nah, not tonight.
Come on, dude.
We're going to save that for another episode.
John, you need to do your Mickey
No,
Mouse
honestly,
voice.
what I want to tell everybody, though, to finalize this episode without my Mickey Mouse voice,
Everybody wants to hear Mickey
is that
Mouse.
sometimes, guys, if something is put in front of you that's scary, that's terrifying, it's put there for a reason. I believe the world, God, the universe, whoever is putting this obstacle in front of you to see whether you're going to rise to the occasion or not.
Yeah.
I'm happy to report that over the last week I've rose to the occasion. I am literally jumping into a net that's not there with faith and actually 100% knowing that it'll appear for me.
Yeah, and always, like, at the end of the day, like, what was your high and then what was your low? Like, of reflecting back on your day.
Yeah.
You know, because even if you have a bad day, there's still going to be some type of high. There's, something good has came out of that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow, y'all, we appreciate you for coming along with this tactical Dent Tech podcast.
No Mickey Mouse voice.
No Mickey Mouse voice.
Everybody wants to hear your Mickey
I need to get some of that helium shit.
No, you have a natural.
We should get some nitrous and go on here and do it for everybody.
What's that?
That stuff that makes you laugh. You know, the balloons.
Them whippets?
Yeah.
No, we are not doing that. Okay, so before we get on this podcast, I'll tell you a story. So, like, a long time ago, I've never done, like, whippets. They call it, what, hippie crack or something like that?
Yeah, that shit.
And we got a bunch of them, and, like...
Well, now, if nobody's ever done whippets before, let me just explain what it is. It's the same shit that's in the bottom of a whipped cream bottle.
Yeah.
So, like, the bottles of whipped cream, put out ice cream. It's at the it's the air, okay? So it's nitrous oxide, I think is what they actually call it.
Yeah.
And so this stuff, when you breathe it in, makes you fucking laugh uncontrollably for no reason at all.
I wouldn't say, like, it does not make you laugh. It, like, so you have these
It makes
little
me laugh the
things,
whole time.
and then you have a cracker, and then you crack it, and it goes into a balloon, and then you take the balloon and you suck the stuff in. And, like, a lot of times when you do it, you'll hear this wow, 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 wow. But here's the thing, though. Like, you can do them, and you'll have, like, a good time, but then the next day you feel like
you
so
feel dumb
stupid.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine how my brain cells
But the
that shit
best
kills.
song to listen to is Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. If you put that on repeat and you want to do some whippets, you'll have one hell of a time.
But we're not endorsing you to do whippets. All right, so we're not telling you to go do that. We're just saying if you did.
John had a friend back in the day, Charles, and he used to call him a screaming eagle.
Yeah, we oh man, that was crazy. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we had this thing going. Me and him went and bought a bunch of them, and we had this kind of like this thing going where we were like cracking them and handing them to each other. Then he put the balloon on it, and when you basically filled it up, it sounded like like an eagle, kind of like it was like. And every time he did one, he would like scream out, "Screaming eagle."
No, wait a minute. Do it in the voice.
No, I'm not doing the voices. Nope.
John.
Nope. These guys are gonna have to wait.
You're like holding stuff back.
Ah, I like that though.
That's
I like
not
to
nice.
hold things back.
That's not nice.
You know what's not nice is you putting me on Instagram as a sailboat captain while I was sleeping with a little whistle in my mouth,
You were a sailor.
dreaming about sailboats.
Dreaming about sailboats, and you were snoring, and it's hilarious.
You're probably gonna get some Instagram followers over this one.
And I always share it every now and then. I have it saved in my phone. It's one of my favorite ones. Again, like I've had it for a few years. And every now and then I stick it on my Insta stories.
I'm gonna have to share that video of you taking a pee that I took. I hid.
No, that's not nice. That's inappropriate right there. Nobody wants to see me.
I'll put one of them smiley faces over it.
No, nobody wants to see me sitting on the toilet using the bathroom. Nobody wants to see that.
All right.
That's a big difference. It'd be like if you had some.
You know, there's some dudes out there right now going, that's.
No. No.
Hell no.
If you want to put one of me with like some type of funny filter or something like that, go right ahead, but not an appropriate one of me sitting on the toilet.
All right, I
That
guess
was not
I
nice.
guess I was a pervert.
Yeah, you were a pervert.
Yes, I am. All right, everybody, we appreciate you. We're going to see you on that next one.
And remember, it's all about the motherfucking hustle.
And you better look out for these dope-ass fucking tactical t-shirts that we're getting ready to drop. They
Yeah.
are sick as fuck.
They bitchin'.
Pew, pew.
Bang, bang.